Hey up everyone, I've decided to do a little bit of a draw with my video today, and I'm currently working on this charcoal drawing. It's a commission, and anyway I decided that I've not had so much time lately to do too many videos this year. I've not been uploading as often as I should be, and it's because I've been finding it a bit hard finding time to do the more heavily edited kind of videos. Just trying to find something to lean my hand on, get some paper or something. This'll do. So yeah, I quite enjoy it when other artists post these, because I like to just put them on whilst I'm working and listen to them ramble on about what they like to ramble on about. So I thought, well, I enjoy them when they do them, so I thought I'd try one as well. You can just watch me drawing this, or you can just put it on and listen to it whilst you're doing your own thing, whether you're cleaning the house or you're doing some drawing yourself or whatever. And then you can just listen to me rambling on. I'll talk a little bit about what I'm doing, and then I'll talk a little bit about other stuff as well. I like it when other people do these and they talk about things that I can sort of relate to, just general everyday life, or stuff that artists have to deal with in their artist's life. And anyway, we'll just see how it goes, and just let me know what you think, because videos like this are actually quite easy to make. You can just record them and you don't really need to do much editing or all like that. You can just upload them and that's it, done. So anyway, I'm working on this commission. It's a charcoal drawing, and these two Labradors, well, the client sent me a bunch of photos to, basically she wanted these 3 dogs all together, and then she wanted like a background, which obviously I've not done yet because I want to do dogs first. And the photos she sent, she just said just choose whichever go together best. Like there was some way that the lighting weren't so good in photos, or they were in a position where you wouldn't be able to get them to go together in a nice composition. So anyway, I settled on these. The 2 labs were together in the same photo, and then this is a collie cross, and this one were in a separate photo. So I've just sat this dog behind the 2 Labradors, and I spoke to a client and I says, "How's about this for a composition?" And she says, "Yeah, I like that." And then I've just got to check, because I needed to make sure that this dog were right size in relation to these 2. And she says, "Oh, just make it a little bit smaller." So I had it up in Photoshop as a Photoshop document, so I just made it a bit smaller, but easy enough done. Sent her a screenshot. How's about that? She says, "Oh yeah, that's great. Yeah, that's perfect." So I says, "Right, let's go with that then." So that were easy enough done. And I'm just thinking about, I've done these 2 dogs, and I'm now just doing this chocolate. It's a chocolate lab, and then I'm going to try and think about the background that's going behind them. I'm going to be winging it a bit, I think, just doing it as I go along. I tend to do that quite a lot with these charcoal drawings. I just sort of like wing it. So now I'm using General's charcoal pencils. It's rubbed off there, but you can see General's charcoal. This one's a 2B, but I often use a 6B as well. And then I use my white one. Now they call it charcoal, but it's not actually charcoal, is it? It's probably just like chalk. But yeah, they call it charcoal, so I just call it charcoal. And this is Clairefontaine paper. It's the Gris, I think it is, mixed media paper. Love working on this stuff. Nice and thick like card. Nice smooth surface. And then obviously with your best friends are blending stumps, various sizes. Kneaded eraser, the Mono Zero eraser, and I use this for blending as well. It's just a soft, nice brush. Anyway, it's currently 11:22 p.m. and I've chosen this time because there's less distraction going on, there's not as much noise outside, it's quite warm at minutes, so you want windows open and things, and you don't want like traffic going up and down the street. I mean, our street's not like an heavy traffic street, but you still get quite a bit of noise outside sometimes, and kids playing and things, and people coming to house, more likely to visit house, like, you know, deliveries and all that kind of thing. It sets dogs off barking. Well, one of them, it's only a younger one now that barks. The other two, they're like 14 years old. And one of them is like as deaf as a post. She shouldn't hear anything. And then the other one, she can still hear a bit, but she's quite chilled out. She don't bark anymore when people come to house. But they never barked, you know, at an alarm or anything anyway. They were always excitement for mine. Mine always love seeing visitors, absolutely love visitors to house. So, and my youngest one, Wisp, if she hears any car that sounds like my brother's, she likes to go berserk because she thinks my brother's coming, and she absolutely loves my brother when he comes. I think it's because he's a bit daft like me and he likes to roughhouse her, and she absolutely loves all that stuff. So yeah, he's really exciting for her, so she always goes absolutely nuts when she thinks that he's coming. So she thinks anybody that turns up and she is, you know, front gates go, you know, thinking he's coming through them, and she'll just bark the whole time because she thinks, oh, he's coming, fuss me. So yeah, anyway, back to art and channel. I recently got to 2k subscribers, so woohoo, 2k. I'm still trying to get me watch hours though. I've not quite got to 4k yet, but hopefully sometime this month I will reach that. I don't know when I'll be uploading this because this is a secret commission. It's going to be a gift for somebody, and obviously they really need to have been gifted it before I post this on YouTube, so I don't know how long that will be because it needs mailing off to person. I know the person that I'm doing it for. I know if I'm doing agility with dogs, that's where a lot of my clients come from, is from doing agility with dogs, and I meet them that way. And it's quite good because if they know you like personally, there's a bit more connection and trust than just dealing with somebody that you've never met. And plus, when I see them at shows and what have you, I always have my camera with me, so if they need any pictures of the dogs, I can get some good pictures for them, because that's another challenge that us pet portrait artists face, is the quality of reference photos. They're not always too good, so if you can get your own at any time, it's always better. I mean, saying that, phones are capable of getting good enough photos now, but a lot of people just don't know how to get the best from the phone, you know, to get a good photo. Some people are just not very good at that at all, and I've had to coach quite a lot of people, you know, via email or Facebook message about how to get good photos of the pets and what have you. And with some people, it's like you'll just tell them and then they'll come back with another one and it's absolutely spot on, brilliant. Yes, cracked it, brilliant. Get on with it now, get on with this drawing. And then with others, it's like, oh no, it really takes a lot to try and get through to them what they actually need. You're trying to explain to them about lighting and pose and angles and things like that, and it just doesn't seem to be sinking in. And you think, oh, and you're worried about whether this person's just going to get bored of trying and give up in end. So But yeah, like I say, if I can take my own photos, then I'll definitely do that. But this one, I mean, a lot of pictures I can, when I've done them, I can deliver them directly to people. We see each other at training or shows and things like that. I was at a show last weekend, and 3 drawings I took for people that I delivered that day. Just went on Saturday and delivered three drawings to 3 separate people, 3 separate clients. So that were 3 people I made happy that day. So it's always better than mailing them through post. I mean, I've not had any problems yet. I don't go missing or get damaged or all, but there's always that risk. So it always feels better. And plus, you get to see them like in flesh. I mean, 2 of them people last week, like they're like, you know, I actually took tissues with me because one of them admitted that he'd probably cry. I said, well, I'll fetch you a tissue then. And I remembered, and I just stuck 2 in. And I remembered when I went and took it to him, I had a tissue. I says, here's your tissue. And then when I delivered the other one to one of the others, she like, luckily we were right at my car. She came to my car where I'd got it, and I gave it to her, and then she was like looking at it, and she was like, she had to turn away, and I says, oh, I'd still got the other tissue in the car, and I says, here, says, just take them a minute, you know, as in a drawing or what have you. Says, just hold them a minute. I went, hopped in my car door and got the tissue out, and I says, here, says, have that. I says, I fetched it, you know, for the other guy that needed one. I says, and I just put 2 in, you know, because I said, just so happens that it was a good thing that I stuck 2 in. I says, he had one. I says, and says, you've ended up needing one. So yeah, it's quite nice when you get to see their reaction to it in flesh. So there's a little bit here I need to just alter. It's been drawn a bit wrong. It's fine when you use erasing, it leaves like little bits and what have you. You have to be careful like wiping them off, because charcoal just smudges like hell. So this is where this comes in handy as well. You can just dab it and it gets rid of all them little bits, like from you know, other eraser. But they're going to have a background anyway. I think she wants sort of maybe like some kind of wooded background, so some vague impressions of trees, and I'm not going to have a chance to do that in this video. You're not really going to see an whole lot of progress in this video, I don't think. But like I say, it's mostly just watching me do what I do manage to get done, and listening to me ramble on about various stuff. So anyway, this summer in UK has been quite a warm one, and where I am we've had quite a bit of rain as well. We've been lucky. Further south, like, you know, southern part of UK, it's been like really dry. They've had very little rainfall. I think rainfall amounts are lower than average over most at UK, but we've not been as bad where I am. We have had some rain, which I've been really like grateful for, and I think a lot of other people have been as well. But like I say, some parts of UK, they're starting to bring in like hosepipe bans and things like that now as well. It don't take much. But yeah, you see photos and you see how parched all grass is. I mean, UK, if you don't live here, it's like UK is just meant to be a green and pleasant land, you know. Yeah, we do get like a lot of rain compared to some countries, but that's just how our land is meant to be. It's not meant to be too dry and hot. And our wildlife doesn't cope with it well either. I mean, I know a few like people who like rescue hedgehogs and rehabilitate hedgehogs and stuff, and when it gets too hot, they have real troubles because they're just getting so many in that are just dehydrated because they can't find any water, and it's just really sad. And on Facebook earlier I saw a post, and there were a picture of a deceased badger where it had basically just a young badger. It had just died from dehydration because it couldn't find any water, and they were just urging people to put dishes of water out onto the gardens, you know, for birds and other wildlife, and you know, during these dry periods. And we've got more hot weather on its way as well, which I'm not happy about. I mean, last month when we had like 40-degree heat, which is, it's just like unprecedented for UK. We've never had them temperatures before ever, and it were absolutely horrible. There were loads of fires all over the country, people's homes got burned down. We had a power cut for 2 hours here. And it was just horrible, and it was horrible for dogs, trying to keep dogs cool. And I'm not in a hurry to see them kind of temperatures again, but we have got hot temperatures coming again this week. And I mean, I have to change my old routine for it, because I have to get up like early in the morning and take dogs for a walk before it gets too hot, and then we just sort of hide for the rest of the day because it's no good for dogs, and especially my old dogs, they don't cope well with heat at all. I mean, Sleet used to be alright when she was younger. She used to be fine, but then, and Ren hated it. Even as a young dog, she always hated it. But then it's the dogs that seem to be alright in it. You've got to watch most, because they're more likely to exert themselves willingly and then end up with like heat stroke. So you've got to watch the dogs that seem to cope better with it, because like I said, you know, Ren hated it and she just wanted to hide in shade from it, so she was keeping herself safe. But a dog that's not so bothered by it and is willing to run around and be an idiot in it and what have you, they're the ones more at risk, because they don't understand the dangers, you know, the way that we do. So we have to look out for them and make sure that they don't behave in a way that's detrimental to them. You hear about dogs, like every year when we have hot weather, you hear about another dog that's died from heat stroke because its owner were throwing a ball for it in hot weather and thinking that it was fine, and the next thing, the dog weren't fine, and it's died an horrible death, and owner basically just were caught out. And quite often these dogs were being walked early in the morning, like 9:30 in the morning, and even at that time it were hot enough that, you know, they were throwing a ball for dogs, and dog were running backwards and forwards after a ball. I mean, I don't do that with my dogs anyway, it's just not the best form of exercise, but in hot weather like that, it's really just not what you want to be doing, you know. Just take your dog for a stroll and let it sniff and explore its environment that way. Like, go to a wooded area where it's shaded and what and stuff, and just let your dog sniff and things, because that's one of the most enriching things for a dog, is to use its nose and sniff, not, you know, running backwards and forwards after a ball. It just doesn't really use the brains, it just sends them off their heads, really. And it also causes a lot of injuries, I've found as well. There's a lot of injuries, I mean, vets will tell you, you know, a lot of injuries they get, you know, in dogs is when people were using a ball launcher and what have you, for example. So yeah, it's always best in hot weather to you know, just keep them a bit calmer and just let them do stuff that don't exert them too much. Speaking of which, it's going to be like 30C or something like that this next weekend, and I've got an agility show booked on Saturday, which means I'm probably not going to be able to go, because I'm not running my dogs in 30C heat. I mean, well, there's only one of them that's going to be running, the other two are retired, with him being 14 like, but still, I'm not taking Wisp, even though heat don't really seem to affect her. Again, she's a dog that I've got to look out for her, because she don't understand the dangers of hot weather, because she's a dog. So I've got to look out for her, and that means I'm probably not going to be able to take her to this show. So that's a bit of a bummer. I were hoping we'd seen. I mean, I don't mind it nice, like saying to mid-20s or something like that, but once it, like, especially when it gets up to 30s, it's just horrible. And in UK, we're just not acclimatised to it, and plus it tends to be like really muggy as well when it gets hot here, so it's stifling. You just can't like cool down. We don't have air conditioning in houses and stuff, so you can't really get away from it. Fans just waft hot air about, and like I say, you just can't get away from it. It's just stifling. You can't sleep at night because of it, you know. And our houses are heat traps. They're designed for keeping heat in, you know, in winter. When it gets cold in winter, you're glad of, you know, the way that our houses in UK have been designed, because that's where they come into their own. But they are no good at keeping heat out and staying cool in summer. Absolutely no good at all. So they literally just turn into an oven. And last time it were out, I were doing all, you know, these things like keeping my windows shut when sun were on and what have you, and keeping my curtains shut so sunlight couldn't get through and into my bedroom and stuff like that. And then obviously when window were in shade and when sun had gone down and whatever, I'd open them up so that, you know, slightly cooler air could then come in, and then it would start to feel a little bit better outside. But then you come in house and it was like an oven. And even when weather like cooled down, like days later, it was still like an oven in house. It was still too hot. It was just, it took days and days for that heat that was trapped in house to actually dissipate and go away, and for it to start feeling comfortable indoors again, even though it was fine outside by that time. Opening all windows, trying to let it all in, using ceiling fan and everything. Oh, it still took days and days to get rid of that heat from them, you know, 2 or 3 stupidly hot days that we had. So, and it were on that hottest day, that Tuesday, we had a wind, but it certainly weren't like what a wind normally is, you know, and it's quite refreshing, you know, like what we had yesterday when I were at a show yesterday, and it was quite warm and there were a nice breeze and it was cool. But this wind, it were like hell wind. Honestly, it must have been about 20 degrees hotter than still air. That's what it felt like. It blew against you and like burnt your skin. It was absolutely horrible. Really just waited for it to cool down. I was so glad when it cooled down, you know, after that day. It really were horrible. Hated it. I can't understand how anybody enjoys that weather. I think they must be like cold-blooded reptiles or something. I keep telling you, if you want that kind of weather, move to the Middle East or something. They get plenty of it there. Go and live there, in the desert or something. So, I don't wish it in this country. It'd kill all our wildlife and all. But yeah. Anyway, enough about weather. Let's talk about summer else. Let's talk about this for a bit. I'm just pushing darks a bit at the minute. Been using that black charcoal pencil and just applying darks where relevant, and then I'm just using blending stump and just blending them in a little bit. But anyway, I'm hoping that you do enjoy this video. Like I say, I like it when other artist channels make these videos. They're just like a draw with me, and they're just talking about stuff. Because, like I say, I like to just listen to them talking. I don't even necessarily watch them drawing. So you might not watch me drawing, you might just stick this on so you can listen to me blathering on. And you might not even watch me drawing, and it don't really matter whether you watch me drawing or not, because watching it in real time is probably a bit, you know, it's probably a bit tedious anyway, watching it in real time, because everything's just happening a bit too slowly. So it's alright when you speed things up and you make like time lapses and stuff like that. But like I say, watching things in real time, you can only do it for so long, and then you get a bit bored, I think, like watching paint dry. But they do tend to be quite popular, these videos, when other people have done them. So I thought I'd give it a bash, see how it goes, and then if it does turn out popular, if people like listening to me just ramble on, then I could do a lot more of these, because I'm doing a lot of drawings all the time, so I could do a lot of these videos, you know, as fillers as well between when I'm doing things like your paintings and stuff, and the tutorials from paintings, which take a bit longer to do. and I can't get videos out as often. I need to like pull my finger out and start uploading a bit more, because I have been slacking seriously this year. I've only been putting like one video a month or something like that out, and I need to up my game really. So anyway, any ideas of other videos that you might like to see? Any kinds of tutorials. I mean, I've just finished another painting of a Cocker Spaniel, and that's all been filmed, so that'll be up as a video at some point or another. And then the first painting I've got that I did a couple of months ago that I've not put on YouTube yet is another montage. I did a montage video. It didn't do really that well, to be honest. I don't think people were all that interested in it. But I did another one, and it is actually another breed as well. It's not a border collie. So I think everyone's getting a bit fed up of seeing them, but they are a really common breed for me to be asked to do, because we're doing agility and that, and border collies are a really popular breed in agility, and because I've got collies as well, I just know a lot of collie people. So end of the day, an order's an order, you know, and that's what I'm making my living from. So I'm not going to turn them down just because they're a collie. And at the end of the day, I'm not making anything yet from YouTube. When I start making anything from YouTube, then I'd be able to start, you know, creating works specifically for this kind of thing, rather than, because I'm making money from doing this kind of thing, rather than just commissions. When it comes to commissions, you've just got to draw or paint what it is you've been commissioned to draw or paint, and don't really have much say it matter. And in a way, I don't like it, because it's like a box of chocolates, you know, like Forrest Gump says. You just don't know what you're going to get next, you know what I mean? And you think, oh, what am I to get next? What kind of breed? Or maybe, you know, maybe a different kind of animal completely. I mean, that's a Pyrenean sheepdog that in the montage that I've not posted on here yet. It was a big A2 size one, so it were bigger than the Border Collie one that I posted a few weeks ago. And it's similar kind of setup, you know, similar kind of composition, you know, main head study and then, you know, 4 smaller studies. But the main head study was a lot bigger in this one, because I was using a much better reference photo. If you watch the Border Collie one, you'll know I explained the reference photo for Ed Study were like really poor, so I had to keep it on smaller side. But the reference photo for this one, it were by a photographer friend of mine, and I've done work for the owners of these dog before anyway. I've painted 3 of their other dogs, and I even used a photograph from this same photographer for that last painting as well. So this is the second time I've used one of her photos, but they're like really nicely lit, like studio shots with a black background rather than white. And with it being a black dog as well, it would just had a lovely sheen and what have you on its coat, that it looked nice, rather than, you know, when normal flash is used, when people just turn flash on the phone and things, it just don't look very nice. Whereas this were proper studio setup, so she'd set the, you know, the speed lights up and what have you, and it looked really nice, the sheen on dog's coat. So the Ed Study in this montage that I will be posting is a lot nicer, a lot bigger as well. And I've thought about doing another shiny black fur. He's got like long, really long fur down his chest, and there's a lot of shine on it, and I wondered whether to do another tutorial, you know, using that. So if you want to see that, then let me know, and I'll do a tutorial for that. and then there were 4 other studies, and because it were a much bigger piece, it was twice as big as that collie piece, I were able to put a lot more detail into other studies as well, so it turned out quite nice and quite impressive looking, you know, because of its size and what have you. So that'll be my next painting, and then after that I think it were I did a papillon. It was somebody else, another previous client. Yeah, I get a lot of, like, you know, clients coming back for more work, and it were a mum's dog, and this dog passed away a few months ago, and she commissioned me to do a painting of it, and that's now being gifted as well to her mum, so she's got that. And then what did I think that's when I went on to Cocker Spaniel, which I've just finished. And hang on a minute, I think I'm going to have to stop this video soon because it's getting a bit late and people are going to bed, so I'm going to have to stop talking. But yeah, I've got the Cocker Spaniel video, and then my next painting is going to be another Border Collie, unfortunately. Well, not unfortunately, but for you it might be, because you want to see some variation, like. But yeah, for me it's good because it's another commission, and he's a nice looking dog. I'm looking forward to painting him. So now I can't believe how much time's passed by and I've just been rambling on. And I've hardly done a lot on this. I've come in with white charcoal pencil now, and I've started adding some little details. So yeah, I've not really managed to get a lot done, even though all this time's passed by. And I don't even feel like I've really talked about that much either. I think I rambled on about weather a little bit too long, to be fair. But I'm gonna have to bring it to an end anyway. And then to be honest, it's like if I don't ramble on about too much in this one, I'll have more to ramble on about in my next one. I don't want to run out of things too quickly to ramble on about, and my life's not exciting enough to have all these new exciting things to ramble on about every time I do one of these videos. It's just a little bit monotonous, you know, like just same old kind of thing. So, but yeah, I mean, this is just like testing waters kind of thing. So if people have ideas of what they'd like to listen to me ramble on about, it don't have to be art related, it can be other general things. Just let me know in comments, and I'll see about, you know, I don't really watch much TV. I watch very, very few shows, so I can't really talk about much about that, because I mean, at the minute I'm not watching anything. I think I'm going to watch that House of the Dragon when that starts, because I did watch Game of Thrones, so I'll probably watch that. But otherwise, I'm not really watching a lot. I don't really watch TV or TV shows and things. So I can't really ramble on about stuff like that, and I don't really read books either these days. I just don't get round to reading them. So I can't talk about stuff like that either, because, you know, some other artists that I see do these, they talk about stuff like that as well in these Draw With Me vids. And I think, well, I won't be able to talk about that because I don't even watch TV or so I'd have to think about other things to talk about. But yeah, I think I'm going to just end this one here now, and then I'll have more to talk about next time I do one of these videos. It'll probably be another drawing. If you want to see the finished result of this, then you can always like look for me on Facebook, TM Hudson Fine Art. Just look for my page on Facebook and it'll probably get posted there at some point. Like I say, it has to be gifted first, and I don't know how long. I'd have to check again. She did tell me when she were hoping to gift it, but I forget now, so I need to check again. So you can see the finished drawing, how it ends up on there when I post it, if you want to follow that page on Facebook. I'm also on Instagram, but I'm not posting as much on there because I just don't really seem to get any engagement or reach on there. It feels like a bit of a waste of time. So Facebook is your best bet, and my Facebook page has recently just taken off, got a lot of traction. I got like 18k likes on a recent post. I couldn't believe it. 18k. Couldn't believe that. I've only had this page about 12 years, and that's how long it's taken me to start getting. This year I started getting some traction. But yeah, that were a bit of a nice surprise. 18k. I just wish it had translated into orders, because it get lots of engagement, lots of people saying, oh, they'd love one, but none of them actually order any drawings. So hopefully that will change. Things have been rather quiet this summer, must admit. Still been managing. But anyway, let's stop rambling, because I'm one of these where I keep saying I'm going to stop talking, and then I don't. I just keep going and going and going. So I'm actually going to stop now before my phone actually runs out of memory or something like that. And I'll let you get back to what you were doing or whatever. I hope you've enjoyed listening to me rambling on, and hope you've enjoyed watching me drawing a bit in real time, even though I've not accomplished that much during that time. And I'll see you in my next video. So bye.